So usually when I do my presentations, I have a feedback form that I give to the audience. And one of the questions that I put on the feedback form is, if you could ask the great marketing minds, the GLM marketing minds, if you can ask Ben Glass one question, what would that question be? And by and far, the overwhelming question that people put into that place, the one question, it's this one question that everybody, almost everybody asks. Do you want to take a guess what that question is? If you can ask one question of the great marketing minds, what would it be? Take a guess. Put it in the chat box if you're taking action. How to take action? Anybody else?
How to make more money.
How to make more money. That's good.
How to get more cases.
How to get more cases. Anybody else?
What's the best marketing activity?
What's the best marketing activity? Where do I start? So some configuration of it. Because what happens is, you join GLM, you come to these conferences, and you have all kinds of ideas and strategies and principles. You see what everybody else is doing. Sometimes you feel overwhelmed. Sometimes you're inspired. And you come here and you're like, well, where do I start? And as Ben likes to say, where do I spend my next dollar on all the stuff that I'm learning? And the way that I like to answer that is, you need to start with having a big picture view of it at first, right? So have an aerial view of what the big marketing picture looks like. And you'd be surprised at how people, if we tell them, well, what is this big plan? What is marketing about? What are you trying to do? They don't really know. Let me tell you a quick story. My husband was getting wanted to get a CDL a few years ago. So in the training class that he was signed up for, there was one of the sections was learning how to use a map, like a paper map. And he came home, and he had to learn how to use a map to pass that training that he was doing. He came home and he was shocked at how many people did not know how to use a map. And these are adults. These are like, 30s. These aren't kids. And he said they had no idea how to find a location on a map using, the grid and the coordinates and, the legend, what does that mean, and the roads and how the maps connect together. They had no idea because they were used to using a GPS. What does a GPS do? You have your phone. It says, go here, go there, now turn here. And so marketing, it's much of the same. If you don't know how to have a map, how to use a big picture map, then you're just following what the next thing to do is. So go here, go there. And then how do you know you're going in the right place? How do you know that you're not going in circles, or if you're even in the right place? So having a big picture map is really it actually leads us into the first tip, which is know where you are in the big scheme of things. Have a map of where you are so that you know where you've been, where you're going, if you've made a wrong turn, if you're going in circles, if there are gaps. So have a big picture map. So in the terms of marketing, what does that map look like? I actually like to use what's called a marketing triangle to show you what that big picture map is. And this marketing triangle concept was created by Dan Kennedy. So I'm not going to take credit for that. Use it because it's a fantastic, simple way of wrapping your head around this thing called marketing. So what does that marketing triangle entail? First, it's who are you talking to? So you want to do marketing. What kind of people do you want to come into your firm? Who are you talking to? Who are you trying to attract, right? So who's your market, right? You need to have people. And for pretty much all of you, the whole world is not going to be your market. Even everybody is not going to be your market. Even people in your state or maybe your whole city, they're not necessarily going to be your market. So you need to be able to define who is it that you want to market to. The second point of the triangle is, what are you going to say to them? Right? So now you have this group of people that you know that you want to have do marketing for. What are you going to say? What are you going to say to them? What's going to be the message that's going to set you apart and it's going to get them to pay attention and raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in what you're saying, what you're selling, what you're offering. So what is that message going to be? The third part of that triangle is going to be, well, how are you going to talk to them? What are you going to, what are you going to use to communicate that message and get it to them? Are you going to email them? Are you going to send direct mail? Are you going to do videos? What is your website? So the options are huge, but you need to be able to define that. And what I love about this marketing triangle is that as you are going up to that aerial view, It applies to, that big picture view of, well, what does my marketing look like? What's my market? What's my message? And how am I getting it to them? Then when you come down a little bit to the 15,000-foot view, so now you're able to see the different, campaigns, the different things that you've been learning, the types of marketing that you could do, and you're able to, again, apply that triangle. So within this online marketing world, what's my market? What's my message? Media. And then when you come down to the ground game, the ground level, you're not going to feel so overwhelmed. You're not going to feel so lost. You're not going to feel like, well, what am I doing? Because now you have that. You can move comfortably between the 30,000 foot to the 15 to your ground game, which is, what is that? Those are the tactics. Those are the campaigns. Those are the individual things that you're doing that are going to fit within your big picture map. And this marketing triangle, you should be able to map it at any level that you are thinking about the marketing that you're doing.